Do you know why I don't take the Yankees seriously anymore? Why I'm not afraid of them anymore? And why I'm even hesitant to favor them in a playoff series nowadays? It's because of manager Aaron Boone. And while the Yankees have remained competitive under Aaron Boone's leadership since he became manager in 2018, there are several reasons why some people, myself included, believe that the Yankees will struggle to win a World Series with him as manager. And in this video, I'm going to explain why I believe they will not win one with him as a manager. And before I get into it, if you like this video, do me a favor, like it and hit the subscribe button. I make videos like this on my channel, at least now on a consistent basis. And let's get on to it. So yeah, the Yankees got taken to the woodshed in the ALDS by the Toronto Blue Jays, losing in 4 games, a series in which the Yankees got outscored 34-19, and in their 3 losses, the Yankees lost by an average score of around 9-3. And you may say, well, Toronto is just an overall better team, and they're on a mission this year. And, the Blue Jays, they made it to their first ALCS since 2016, and the Yankees were just greatly outmatched. Well, two things can be true at the same time. Not taking anything away from Toronto. Excellent team they got up there in Canada. But that's not the point of this video. My point is that this is not just a one-time thing with the Yankees. This is not just me sitting down here talking in the heat of the moment and me just giving you my 2 cents on the Yankees getting roundhouse kicked in the playoffs. No, this goes back years of why I believe the Yankees are perennial chokers and why unless the management does something, they will not win a World Series with Dopey from Snow White as their manager. And for context, we got to go back 8 years ago to 2017. In 2017, the Yankees were picked by very few people to make a deep playoff run. Hell, some people thought they would even miss the playoffs altogether for the second year in a row. And while I don't vividly remember if I was one of those people, I was not particularly high on them. But in 2017, the Yankees overachieved that season, and they made it to the playoffs as a wild card team. And after they disposed of, guess who, the Minnesota Twins in the wild card, because we've never seen the Yankees do that to the Twins in the playoffs ever, they faced the defending American League champion Cleveland Indians in the ALDS. And Cleveland that season was a fantastic team. They won 102 games that year, the number 1 seed in the AL. They had recently won 22 games in a row, tying an American League record, and Corey Kluber won the Cy Young. They also had a way better offense than they did in 2016, the year that they made it to the World Series, where they infamously blew it to the Chicago Cubs. And Cleveland were the overwhelming favorites to beat the Yankees in the ALDS. And after 2 games, Cleveland looked to build it up. They took the first 2 in Cleveland, including a thrilling comeback win against the Yankees in Game 2. And in front of their fans, it was do or die for the Yankees, and the Yankees answered the call. They evened the series going back to Cleveland to force a Game 5 as the Yankees pitching became dominant somehow, shutting down that prolific Cleveland offense. And in Game 5, the Yankees completed their own reverse sweep, taking the series in 5 games over Cleveland, and they had stunned the baseball world by beating Cleveland in the ALDS to go to the ALCS, where they would fall to the Houston Astros in 7 games in a much closer series than everyone remembers. And Houston went on to win the World Series that year. My point is, in Joe Girardi's last season as skipper for the New York Yankees, he made it to the ALCS and came within 1 game of making it back to the World Series in 9 years. And they did it against a team who literally cheated against them. And then inexplicably in the offseason, the Yankees dumped Joe Girardi and they brought in Aaron Boone, who had no managerial experience. At the time, I was hesitant about the hire, but I was like, you know what? If they're confident that he's the guy and he knows what he's doing, and he has a team like this that is absolutely capable, who am I to say anything? What have the Yankees done since Aaron Boone has become manager? Absolutely destroyed by the Boston Red Sox in 2018. Made it back to the ALCS in 2019 against, again, the Houston Astros. This time they lost in 6 games, but much like 2017, it was a much closer series than everyone remembers. Yankees made a lot of mental mistakes in that ALCS. 2020, suffocated by the Tampa Bay Rays. 2021, destroyed once again by arch rival Boston in the wild card game. 2022, once again, swept by the Houston Astros. Maybe not once again swept by them, but this time they didn't even have a series against Houston. Houston dominated them in 4 straight games. And of course, you have last year. Up 5-0 against the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 5 at home of the World Series, only to have this happen.
With a heating up Judge, who settles under this ball, but then drops it. Garrett Cole throws, and a ground ball left side. Volpe will go to third in the dirt, and another break for LA. Ground ball right side. Rizzo. Nobody at first. Incredible. 1-2. Into center field, a base hit. 2 more runs will score. The Dodgers take advantage of the bad defense from New York, and this game has changed in the blink of an eye. In the air to left center field. Judge on the run. Dead sprint now to the track, and it's over his head. That's in to score. Freddie Freeman for the plate, and this game has been turned upside down.
As a matter of fact, 2023 is the only time in Aaron Boone's tenure that the Yankees have missed the playoffs. So you're probably thinking to yourself, well, making the playoffs 7 out of 8 years as a manager is great. I don't see why his job would be in jeopardy. I don't see why he's the main reason the Yankees are not going to win a World Series. Well, look at how the Yankees do against these elite teams and how they do against teams that are either on their level or better than them. They stand absolutely no chance. You know what the Yankees are like? The Yankees are kind of like a bully in high school where they beat up on weaker teams, and you know that they're going to do that by mashing home runs every single game. But once a bully stands up to them, they get intimidated and they don't fight back. That's what the Yankees remind me of. And you have stuff like Aaron Boone's strategic decisions during high-pressure playoff games, and that they have occasionally been questioned, and I really think that they haven't been questioned enough, in my opinion, particularly the bullpen management and the lineup choices. This playoffs is a very good example of what I'm talking about. Let's go back to Game 1, where Aaron Boone inexplicably pulled Max Fried out of the game when he was dealing against Boston, and then went to the bullpen, and the bullpen, to no one's surprise, absolutely shit the bed against Boston. Red Sox went up 1-0 against the Yankees. How about this ALDS against the Toronto Blue Jays? All 5 games, the Yankees had different lineups. That's what it is with Aaron Boone. Nobody knows where they're going to be in the lineup. Nobody knows what they're doing on the field because they're out of position and they're out of order in the lineup. Like, imagine if you're at work and you have a job like I do, where I work in a warehouse, and you're accustomed to working in one place every single day, but then say you get a new boss one day, and the new boss constantly puts you in positions where you're not familiar with, and it leads to you having a disastrous day. That's happened to me before at my job several times. That's what Aaron Boone is doing. He is constantly putting players out of position. He is constantly changing the lineup. He is constantly changing who bats leadoff and who bats in the cleanup spot and who plays first base and who plays in the outfield. You know, that's just what it is with Aaron Boone. He has no idea how to construct a lineup, and he has no idea when to go to the bullpen. The team has faced persistent issues with injuries, which, yes, every team does deal with injuries, and I know Aaron Boone is only working with what he has. But unless these challenges are addressed and Aaron Boone is able to adapt to his approach as manager, the Yankees are going to continue to fall short of capturing their 28th title. And as I said earlier, this playoffs is a very good example of that. This was a team that had 50 strikeouts in the playoffs this year. And this is supposedly the best team that Aaron Boone has had since he's became the manager for the Yankees. The best teams in baseball don't strike out 50 times in the playoffs, Boone. And that's just what it is. You think Aaron Boone is going to address this? You think that Aaron Boone is going to come out with any kind of fire or intensity and he's going to hold the team accountable and he's going to say that he needs to change his approach to how the game is? That's what I'm leading into right there. Aaron Boone constantly massages the egos of these players. He's constantly coddling them. And you see it when the Yankees are going out there being lackadaisical and playing like they really just have no fire under their ass whatsoever. You see it when they're not running the bases hard. You see it with bad base running. You see it with bad base stealing. You see it with the misplays like Jazz Chisholm's error at second base yesterday night. Which, by the way, Jazz Chisholm, you may want to not watch this video if I were you right here, because a stat line like this, yeah, pretty interesting way to win the division and win the World Series. Am I right, pal? You see it with all these fundamental mistakes that Aaron Boone continues to let happen as the players change, as the team changes. What is the one common denominator with all this? It's Aaron Boone. His approach is all about analytics. It's not even about fundamentals. You don't see the Yankees bunting. You don't see them hustling. You don't see them hit it the other way. You don't see him hitting it in the gap. All you see is how many home runs are they going to hit a game? How far are they going to hit the ball out of the park? Are they going to hit it to the Hudson River? They care more stuff about like launch angle and exit velo, all because Aaron Boone ran into a baseball in 2003 to send the Yankees to the World Series. Just out of curiosity, before I hit the record button on making this video, I rechecked the box score to see what the Yankees' means of scoring was, and in an elimination game at home against a division rival, no less, where the Yankees only had six hits and one error and only mustered 2 runs, their only means of scoring in front of a packed house in the largest city in the United States was a solo home run by Ryan McMahon to tie the game at 3. And then, while Aaron Judge is absolutely a generational type player, and he's one of the greatest ball players of all time in my opinion, the guy's also a bit of a stat patter as well. And down 5-1, he drove in an RBI on a single. So, that should tell you all you need to know right there. If the Yankees are not hitting home runs, and especially if Aaron Judge is not hitting home runs, the Yankees are not going to win very many games, despite the fact that their pitching has stepped up to par this season and has looked dominant at times, with the Yankees having the highest run differential in baseball. Aaron Judge, going into this playoffs, had a reputation of being a playoff choker. And while, yes, I do believe he is still a playoff underachiever, this was by far the best playoffs that he has ever had in his career. He hit .500 in the playoffs this year with 13 hits, 1 home run, and 7 RBIs, including hitting .600 in the ALDS against the Toronto Blue Jays. You know what the rest of the team batted collectively in the ALDS against Toronto? The rest of the team batted .207, barely above the Mendoza line, a batting average that would make my team, the Pittsburgh Pirates, blush. And when no one knows where they're hitting in the order, and when no one knows where they're supposed to be on the field, it's just going to lead to results like this. The Los Angeles Dodgers, after Game 5, said it themselves. I'm probably not going to be quoting them word for word here, but they said something along the lines of, we knew that if we were going to put the ball in play against the Yankees and we were going to put pressure on the defense, we were going to win. And that led to the Yankees having 3 errors against the Red Sox, against LA, in that disastrous inning where the Yankees choked a 5-0 lead, one of the biggest choke jobs in World Series history. And do you think any of the players are going to address this? Do you think Aaron Boone is going to address this? I mean, I know you can't blame Aaron Boone for when players make mistakes. I understand that. But when there is a lack of discipline and when there is a lack of leadership from your manager who is supposed to prep you for big moments like this, that is on the manager right there. Like, remember when the Yankees were a dynasty? Remember when they were throwing money at every player who took a breath in the MLB and they were known as the Evil Empire? Remember when the Yankees didn't have a great game and someone was acting out? What did guys like Derek Jeter and Jorge Posada, Paul O'Neill do? They didn't rip them a new asshole in the dugout. They would just be like, hey, you know what? That's not what we're all about here, and you better get your shit together. They were blunt with them. They were upfront and frank with them. Do you see someone like Aaron Judge doing that with the Yankees nowadays? No. You know why? Because he knows that as long as Aaron Boone is his manager, that the Yankees can get away with anything that they want. Like I said, going back to the work analogy I made earlier, imagine you're at work and you just continue to laze around with your job and you just continue to do nothing and you continue to be underperforming at your job. What do you think your boss is going to do? You think your boss is just going to say, oh, it's okay, I'll give you half days and more PTO because I know how stressful this job is? Or do you think your boss is going to be like, hey, you're underperforming here and you better pick things up or else I'm going to reprimand you? That's what the Yankees are missing right here. They are missing leadership. They are missing that intimidation factor because teams used to go into Yankee Stadium and they'd be like, okay, how are the Yankees going to beat us today? Teams go into Yankee Stadium now and they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to hit it to third base because I know that their third baseman is not going to be able to handle the ball well and I'm going to get on base. And I'm not using any specific names because, quite frankly, like the team, I don't know who even plays third base for the Yankees nowadays because of Aaron Boone. The Yankees went from being the evil empire to just being that whiny kid in high school that gets bullied all the time. So, in conclusion with this video, am I surprised in which the manner that the Yankees lost? No, I'm not. But am I surprised that Aaron Boone is most likely going to keep his job? Absolutely. Because I think just about any other franchise in the MLB would fire this guy after a humiliating playoff series like this. And hell, he should have been gone after making the World Series last year. Aaron Boone is nothing more than the MLB's Mike Tomlin or Dan Bilesma. He gets the keys to a Ferrari every single year and crashes it headfirst into a wall at full speed. And everyone's wondering and shocked about why the Yankees can't win a World Series with this guy. Because you look at the Yankees roster and you immediately think to yourself, oh yeah, this is absolutely a team that's going to win a World Series. This is absolutely a team that's going to bring home their 28th title. It's been 8 years. How come they haven't done it? Aaron Boone. And to be quite honest with you, I really don't know how much of this is strictly on Aaron Boone and how much of this is on Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman, but I believe all three of them carry blame here. Yankee fans, if you're a Yankee fan watching this and if you've been listening to this for the last 20 minutes or so, I have a question for you. Look at the combination of the four men on the screen right here. Do you believe that the New York Yankees are going to win a title with a combination of these four guys right here? My answer, a resounding no. Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner might be able to with the right personnel, but they are certainly not winning a championship with Aaron Boone anytime soon. All right? That's just how it is. Are you good enough to win 90 to 95 games a year? Yes, you are. Are you good enough to win the American League East? Yes, you are. Are you good enough to be the number one seed in the American League? Possibly. Are you good enough to win a World Series with this team right now? No, you are not. And every single time you've lost in the playoffs with Aaron Boone as your manager, it's led to embarrassing eliminations like this. So Yankee fans, start spreading the news. You are not winning a World Series with Aaron Boone. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you've enjoyed the MLB playoffs so far, and I will see you in the next one.